The morning sunlight streamed gently through the polished chrome of Maplewood Diner, a place where the aroma of melted butter and sweet syrup usually promised peace and comfort. But that day, warmth had no place there. Shadows crept quietly into the hearts of a few boys who had forgotten what kindness meant. Near the window sat a young girl in a wheelchair. Her plate of pancakes rested in front of her like a fragile shield, a small barrier between her and a world that often failed to understand her. Her name was Clara. Though her face reflected quiet courage, her trembling fingers betrayed the unease she tried to hide. At the next booth, a group of teenage boys laughed, not out of joy, but cruelty. Then, one of them crossed a line that should never be crossed. With a smirk, he slapped Clara's plate from her lap. The pancakes splattered across the tiled floor. Another boy pushed her wheelchair backward, mocking her as he did. The diner froze. Forks stopped midair. The sound of breaking plates echoed, but the laughter of the bullies was louder, crueler. Clara's eyes glistened with tears. She bit her lip, trying to stay composed, but the sting of humiliation burned far deeper than any physical pain. If you believe that compassion should always overpower cruelty, that everyone deserves dignity, and that kindness still matters, take a second right now to like this video, share it, and subscribe to heart-touching stories. Together, we can remind the world that empathy is stronger than hate. Clara's journey had never been simple. Born with a spinal condition that left her unable to walk, she had grown up hearing her parents say that her spirit could still soar even if her legs could not. She believed them, most days, but the world often seemed determined to test that belief. Every day, she faced whispers, curious glances, and pitying smiles that cut deeper than words. But what she faced that morning in the diner went beyond pity. It was cruelty sharpened to wound the soul. As the boys laughed, others in the diner looked down, pretending not to see. The waitress, frozen with a tray of steaming coffee, hesitated, fear flickering in her eyes. Clara bent forward, trying to collect her fallen pancakes with trembling hands, desperate to end the moment quietly. That's when another hand reached down, not mocking, not harsh, but gentle. An older man, gray at the temples, crouched beside her. He picked up the plate and placed it back on the table. "Don't pay them any mind," he said softly. But even as he spoke, his eyes darted toward the group of boys. His kindness was like a candle flickering in a storm. Yet, even surrounded by that faint light, Clara felt broken. Her appetite vanished, her throat tightened. She wanted to ask why people thought it was acceptable to mock someone simply for being different. Minutes passed like hours. The bullies still laughed loudly, bragging about what they'd done. Clara closed her eyes and silently prayed for this humiliation to end. Then, it happened. A deep rumble rolled through the air, low at first, then growing louder, like thunder announcing a coming storm. Heads turned toward the window. Outside, dozens of motorcycles roared into the parking lot, their chrome glinting beneath the sunlight. The symbol on their leather jackets was unmistakable. Hell's Angels. The sight made the diner fall silent. Forks froze midair. The once cocky bullies exchanged nervous looks. Their smirks vanished. Everyone knew the reputation of the Hell's Angels, fierce, fearless, and protective of their own. The door swung open, and the bell chimed softly. But the silence that followed was louder than the bikes outside. A tall man with a thick beard and eyes like cold steel stepped in. His vest was covered in patches, stories stitched in leather. Behind him, more riders followed, filling the diner with their quiet power. Clara's heart pounded. Fear and wonder tangled within her chest. The bearded man's sharp gaze swept across the room, pausing on the bullies. Then, his eyes softened when they landed on Clara. He understood, without a word. He walked toward her, boots thudding against the floor, and knelt beside her chair. For the first time that morning, Clara didn't feel small. She felt seen. The man, his name was Roar, slowly turned his head toward the boys. Their faces paled. Their earlier bravado melted away. Though Clara couldn't hear every word, his low, steady voice carried enough weight to drain the color from their cheeks. One by one, the bullies slid out of their booth and stumbled toward the exit, heads bowed, shame heavy on their shoulders. Outside, the line of motorcycles stood like sentinels, steel and leather guarding Clara's dignity. Roar wasn't finished. He called the waitress over, placed a large bill on the counter, and told her, "Whatever she wants. Pancakes, milkshake, pie. Bring it all. Then he turned to Clara and said, "You're stronger than any coward who tries to tear you down." And then came a moment no one in that diner would ever forget. Roar took off his own leather vest, the symbol of his brotherhood, and draped it gently across Clara's shoulders. "You're family now," he said. Tears streamed down Clara's cheeks, not from shame but from gratitude. In one morning, her pain had transformed into hope. She realized that kindness can come from unexpected places, and that even the toughest-looking souls can carry the gentlest hearts. The diner erupted in quiet applause. Some patrons wiped tears. The waitress hugged Clara, promising she'd never sit there feeling invisible again. For the first time in a long while, Clara felt something she thought she had lost: hope. She understood that while cruelty exists, courage and compassion do too. And sometimes, strangers can walk into your life and completely rewrite your story. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that kindness can bloom even in the harshest moments, take a second to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Heart-Touching Stories. Your support helps us spread light in a world that too often forgets its warmth. Before you go, I have one request. Leave a comment below and tell us, if you were in that diner that day, what would you have done? Your words might inspire someone else to choose courage when it truly matters.